Mass, Chapter 69, Hunter. Lazuli then faded away, and Hunter closed the door behind him, and he waited. He did not know what to say to a shy knight, and knights were usually pompous, filled with confidence, or reserved with a strong character. Hunter looked about the simple bedroom and then to Gregory's tale. "You have a nice tale," said Hunter. Gregory scoffed, and then he started to disrobe. Hunter smiled, seeing how quickly things were starting to progress, and he drew near Gregory and he proceeded to kiss his neck. And the tale was something unfamiliar for Hunter to deal with, but he chose not to ignore it. Complimenting it had taken all the shyness out of the night. Hunter placed his strong farmer's hand over Gregory's chest, and then he started to caress him gently, and with the other hand he stroked Gregory's tail. Hunter saw on Gregory's back two strange spots. He kissed one, and as he pressed his lips to it, something pointy came out, cutting his lip. Hunter pulled back, and he passed his hand over his lip, and Gregory turned around, and he saw that Hunter had a slight cut on his lip. And Gregory hugged Hunter, and then he said, "My apologies." Gregory released his wings, and then Hunter was able to see what was the thing that had cut into him. And Hunter kissed Gregory's mouth, and then he said, "You have nice wings." By now Hunter guessed that the shy knight had dragon blood, and Hunter kissed Gregory again, and then he asked, "Do you have any more surprises?" Gregory grew his horns and his scales, and the scales manifested in a dull copper tone, and he walked to a nearby wash basin to tend to the blood that always fell from his head whenever he grew his horns. And Hunter took the pause to begin to disrobe, and when he was done undressing, he sat on the bed. And he studied Gregory's armor skill and the other smooth ones, and Gregory turned around to allow for Hunter to decide how to proceed. And while Gregory waited, his heart was beating extremely quickly. Hunter studied Gregory with his piercing eyes, and he could tell that Gregory was nervous and shy about his draconic heritage. Gregory then started looking towards the door. Hunter then said the first thing that came to his mind. You had nice scales and horns." Gregory studied Hunter's eyes, and they had the same unflinching intensity, and the Hunter extended his hand in invitation, and he patted the bed and he said, "You have a nice bed." "You sound a bit daft," retorted Gregory. "Are you always this articulated?" "I could recite you some romantic poetry if that's what it takes for you to sleep with me," said Hunter dryly. "Nobody put you up to this," said Gregory, avoiding Hunter's eyes. "I am not a prostitute, if that is what you are implying," said Hunter, crossing his arms, and he was starting to become annoyed. "That's not what I meant," said Gregory. "It is just that my friends are trying to find me a lover, and this is the part where they either run or they turn off the lights." "I see now, I understand why you are so shy," said Hunter doubtfully. "I have no intention of running or turning off the lights. Come to me. What was your name again?" "Gregory," said Gregory. "Kiss me, Gregory," commanded Hunter. Gregory came to Hunter, and the two shared a kiss, and it had been some time since Gregory has slept with someone it had been some time since Gregory had found someone within him, and during their mating, Hunter never took his eyes off Gregory, and close to morning, Gregory lost most of his scales and horns, and he continued mating with Hunter, not looking more normal, with the exception of having a tail and wings. And the continued interaction with very short break was enough to finally exhaust the physically starved Gregory around noon. The two slept till close to dusk, and it was hunger that awoke Hunter, and he started getting dressed to get a bite to eat. And the movement awoke Gregory, and Hunter saw Gregory looking at him with melancholy, glowing red eyes. And to Hunter it seemed that Gregory was just at the verge of crying. Not just that Gregory sometimes gets the red eyes because of the dragon blood. But it's not always like, I'm angry, no, it's like, Guessing how things look, Hunter said, I'm going out to buy some food. Do you want something?" "I can cook you something. My home is nearby. I can make you whatever you like," said Gregory, gingerly getting out of the bed. "Then it is a date," said Hunter, smiling. And he whispered to summon his friend Lazuli to his side. Lazuli looked rather merry, and he observed the scene of the crime, and smiling he said, "Busy night." "And morning too," said Hunter happily. Gregory chuckled, and Hunter could see that his new partner was blushing. Gregory left the bedroom, trailed by both Hunter and Lazuli, and he guided them to his current domicile. Gregory frowned when he saw the empty bottles in the kitchen, and he sighed deeply, and then he started to pick up the empty bottles to throw them away. Hunter asked, Who else lives here with you? I live with my older brother Liam and Alec, and Sophina, Eric, and Hope, and who's their adopted son, said Gregory, frowning. Gregory opened Liam's bedroom, and he saw Sunshine's beautiful blonde hair sticking out from under the bedsheets, and upon closer inspection, the bedsheets had blood. Gregory started crying as he drew near to see how Sunshine was doing, and Hunter heard someone crying in the other room, so he went to see what was happening. Gregory kissed Sunshine on the head, and then he asked, Sunshine, are you alright? Sunshine awoke, and he turned around to face Gregory, and Gregory was starting to sniff Sunshine, so Sunshine pushed him away before saying, I am fine. And he opened his mouth, and Gregory was able to verify that Sunshine had not drank anything. Sunshine left the bed, and he went to tidy up the bedroom, and Hunter was able to see that Sunshine only had a butt, and the absence of visible reproductive organs greatly disturbed Hunter. Sunshine noticed Hunter staring at his body, and he barked, Take a picture, it will last longer. Hunter turned his kid to look at Sunshine in the face, and he said, My apologies. Oh, you're with Gregory, said Sunshine, smiling and changing his tone altogether. Forgive me for my rudeness. Sunshine extended his hand to salute Hunter, and Hunter shook the hand before saying, No, forgive my rudeness. I do not know much about the world and its people, and I did not mean to offend. I beg your forgiveness once again. Worry not, dragons are students of variety, so you should expect the unexpected from us. And our halfling cousins like little Gregory, said Sunshine cordially. I'm sorry about the mess. Alec and Mincy drank Eric's entire liquor cabinet, and I'm going to have to clean. I would have cleaned, but I was feeling a little tired, and I need to head back home to see how my little sea breeze is doing, and I don't have a big favor this time. And the blood, asked Gregory. Oh, don't worry about it, said Sunshine, and she held up a little round object. It seems that I laid an egg. Another sea breeze, asked Gregory, surprised. The egg is unfertilized, see? Said Sunshine before biting the egg. And Gregory grimaced as Sunshine devoured the egg she had recently laid. And he had completely forgotten that Hunter was there, and so too had Sunshine. Hunter, feeling like an outsider, left the two siblings to talk, and he sat in the kitchen to wait for the promised meal. And Gregory left the bedroom, followed by Sunshine wearing a dingy nightgown. And he started making dinner, and he opened the fridge and found only a fish. And Gregory said, guess I'm gonna be frying a snapper. Do you like fish? I can make you something, and I can go buy something else. Fish is fine, said the Hunter, smiling. He was starved. Leon entered the kitchen, and he had a warm smile on his face, and his wings flapped vigorously to illustrate his good humor. And Leon saw the new visitor, and he greeted him warmly by shaking his hand. He then sat down beside his little brother, and he eyed Hunter for him to tell. There was something familiar about him, but he couldn't put his finger on it. Regardless, Leon took an instant liking to Gregory's new boyfriend. And Sunshine started the interrogation. What is your name? Hunter, said Hunter, just Hunter, and if you must know my last name, it is Mordred. I am a mutt. No, you're a person, retorted Sunshine. I never liked the term mutt. It is a snob terminology anyway. You are Hunter, and I am Sunshine, Gregory's sister, brother, or whatever. Let's just leave it at that. Like mutt is what they call people and stuff that have that are half dragon, have this, have that, that are a little bit of everything. I am Lazuli, said Lazuli. Another means, he said, Sunshine sighing. And you're going to fit right in a little motley crew, and Master Helmer has his own little chatterbox elemental. And Hunter, you should see about arranging a play there between the two. Hunter chuckled and said, That sounds lovely. Would you like that, boy? You're on your own, said Lazuli, disappearing after being teased. And where do you live now? Asked Gregory. Nowhere in particular, said Hunter, and I lived with someone a few years ago, but I had to leave him. It didn't work out. I am recently divorced as well, said Gregory. Do you want some dessert? Yes, thank you, said Hunter. A week passed, and Hunter was still with Gregory, and in a succession of events tied to another, with Hunter trailing after Gregory, and he followed Gregory to class, and he watched him paint. He went with He went with him to see Julian, and he saw Gregory play chess with Caron. And he had lunch with Gregory and the others at the Torogan. It didn't matter what activity Gregory was going to do, Hunter would tag along. And during a particularly boring class about catalysts, Lazuli whispered to Hunter. "Everything is going great," said Lazuli happily. "I don't know," said Hunter. I just go from one thing to the next, and this is not even my outfit." "And you practically live with Gregory now, and he has even given you a key to the house. Ask him if you want to be boyfriends already," insisted Lazuli. At the end of class, Hunter came to stand before Gregory, and Gregory smiled and he kisses Hunter. And then he started to depart when his lover detained him by gently grabbing his hand. "We need to talk," said Hunter sternly, and Gregory turned his head to avoid looking at his lover. And Hunter smiled and he kissed Gregory on the cheek. "It's nothing bad, don't get so pouty." Gregory made eye contact with Hunter, and then he said, "And we have been living together for a week, and I want to know what type of relationship we have." "What type would you like?" asked Gregory, giving Hunter an inquisitive look. "He wants to know if you consider him your boyfriend," translated Lazuli. "Lazuli!" snapped Hunter, blushing. "Yes," said Gregory, smiling shyly. "You can move your stuff into my room if you want to, and you practically live with me, so why not make it official?" And so Hunter brought into Gregory's home his few possessions, his savings, the few change of clothing he owned, his bow and arrows, a woodcutter's axe, a hunting knife, and his camping equipment. And on that day, Gregory was in a particularly good mood. And after getting Hunter accommodated, he started to brainstorm a little. And in the end, he said, "And what do you want to do, Hunter? You have been passively following my daily routine, and surely there's something you want to do with me." Hunter looked about for Lazuli, but his companion was making himself invisible. And after overthinking things a bit, Hunter saw over his shoulder a painting. Smiling, he said, "We should go look at pictures." "You like art?" asked Gregory, raising an eyebrow. "Yes, I like looking at pretty pictures," said Hunter, grinning. And the two went together to the art museum, and Gregory barely bothered to visit because they kept rejecting his experimental artwork. And the museum did have Gregory's classical work, including his historical paintings, as well as a few that depicted the heroic deeds of Grimory. And Hunter studied the paintings with keen interest, for indeed he did like looking at pretty pictures, especially the nudes. And Gregory noticed this when he saw Hunter's eyes looking at a nude while he pretended to be looking at a still life. And he drew near Hunter and he batted his ear. Hunter giggled, for the laugh by made him ticklish, and then Gregory asked, "Look familiar?" "The onions," asked Hunter. "No, silly," said Gregory, pointing at the nude. "Oh, I wasn't looking at that," lied Hunter. "And it's fine, I paint and draw nudes from time to time, so it's no big deal," said Gregory, "and I painted the one you're looking at." Hunter and Gregory went to face the painting featuring the male nude, and Hunter looked at the man from head to toe, and he was indeed a fine physical specimen. And Gregory from time to time would look at Hunter and giggle. "And what's so funny?" asked Hunter. "He doesn't look familiar at all," insisted Gregory. "I don't recognize the face," said Hunter. "Not the face, silly. That is just some pompous knight that wanted to look cool. And the real guy let himself go, so I needed someone else to model for the body," said Gregory, laughing. Hunter looked at the body, and then he looked at Gregory from head to toe before saying, "No, I do not see the resemblance." "It's Allan," said Gregory, laughing, and Hunter frowned at this statement. Gregory poked at Hunter's cheek, and laughing, he said, "A little jealous, are you?" No. Why would I have to be jealous? Mine is bigger," snapped Hunter, "and I had nothing to envy of this Allan. And why does he let you paint him anyway?" "It flatters him," said Gregory coyly. "He's a bit of a narcissist, and he sometimes visits here with Caron to show him all the paintings that feature his magnificence." Hunter moved away from the painting to look at something else, with Gregory following along. And then he asked, Is there one of your nude?" "No," said Gregory flatly. "Why not?" asked Hunter. "Because," said Gregory, avoiding Hunter's gaze. "I like your body," said Hunter. Gregory smiled and he kissed Hunter, and then Gregory said, "You are sweet in a reserved, cute type of way, like you could be a noble or a prince." "I am nothing," said Hunter, laughing. "If I say that you're a prince, then you're a prince," retorted Gregory, pouting. "And let's go see something else, my sweet, handsome prince. Your pick." "Plants," suggested Hunter. And from there they went to the botanical gardens, and since it was September, the garden had monarchs, cloudless sulphur, swallowtails, morning clothes, and buckeye butterflies. And in the garden, Hunter seemed more at ease, and from time to time he would comment on the health of a plant. And at a certain juncture, Hunter saw a snail devouring a plant, and he went to remove the snail, but Gregory detained him. And Gregory leaned forward to look at the little snail, and he had a childish smile painted on his face, and he eventually petted it with his pinky. Hunter smiled at this quirk, and he thought himself quite at peace. And the pair left the botanical garden, and as they walked, they happened to pass by the market. And Hunter gave a cursory look at some ear stuffs as he passed by them, and Gregory, who was completely charmed by Hunter's eyes, noticed what he had looked at. The two returned home, and Gregory cooked dinner for everyone, and after eating, Hunter went with Gregory to hang out in the bedroom. And Gregory brought out his chess set. "Do you play?" asked Gregory. "Not really, I'm more of a poker player," retorted Hunter. "I can tell," said Gregory, looking at Hunter's eyes. And even when they were relaxed, Gregory found them particularly charming in their intensity. "You can teach me the game," said Hunter, equanimous. Gregory organized the pieces, and he explained the basic flow of the game, and smiling he said, "The peons are quite interesting too, and if they reach the end, they can become anything they want. They can be queens, knights, rooks, or priests. See, with a lot of luck and a lot of effort, any person can become whatever they want." "That is all well and good," retorted Hunter, "but at the end of the day, there is always an invisible hand controlling the lives of all of the pieces of a chessboard. The lives of the kings are the only ones that matter. Every other piece, even the queen, is expendable." The two played a game, and Hunter defeated Gregory, and pouting Gregory said, "You lied." "So I did," said Hunter, chuckling. "My life's boyfriend taught me the game, and he believed it made me more refined. And he liked my looks, but not much else, and so began the lessons. And he thought he could turn me into a little lord, so as not to be ashamed of me when I spoke." "I'm sorry," said Gregory sadly. "Don't be." "I did not mind. I welcome the chance of becoming something more than a peon," retorted Hunter. "And I memorized every little thing he so desired, the poems, the stupid spoons, the dance steps, how to stand, how to pronounce the word, how low to bow. But you probably know how to do all that." "Not really. My mother never cared about such archaic traditions, and my father was very old, and he had stopped caring about etiquette 6 centuries ago," explained Gregory. "I was the youngest son born out of wedlock. I was a prince in name only." Hunter was quiet and thoughtful, and he put it away Gregory sighed, and he put it away the chest set, and he wrapped his hands around Hunter's head, and he kissed it, and then he said, "I know what will put a smile on your face." And Gregory kneeled down before his Hunter to undo the buttons of his pants, and Gregory released Hunter's instrument, and then he proceeded to kiss it. And a smile was painted on Hunter's lips, and the eyes of pleasure quickly melted away all intelligent thought from his head. And since Gregory had to work the following morning, they only rolled around the hay for 2 hours. And Hunter was thoughtful all the while Gregory slept in his arms. And he left the bed to roam about, and he put on his utilitarian outfit, along with a leather coat, and his steps led him to the beach, and he sat down on a nearby log to brood. Lazuli manifested near Hunter. "Things are going great, aren't they?" said Lazuli happily. "I suppose," said Hunter, looking at the blackness of the horizon. "Check your coat pocket," said Lazuli. And Hunter checked his coat pocket, and inside he found a small gift box from Gregory, and when he opened the box, he found inside the pair of diamond stud earrings. And his eyes watered, and then he became infuriated, and he stood up. And then he went to throw the box away, but he changed his mind, and instead he held on to the gift with both his hands as if his life depended on it. "Forget about that bum," retorted Lazuli. "Gregory," asked Hunter, crying. "No, not him, the other bum. Gregory's a good kid, and he cooks for you, and he keeps the bed warm at night, and he's not much of a conversationalist, but neither are you. He's perfect. He's everything you wanted and then some. So what's your problem?" retorted Lazuli. "So you think there's a problem with me, eh, Lazuli?" asked Hunter, still crying. "Yes, you have a good thing going, and instead of enjoying it, you're sabotaging yourself," said Lazuli, coming to sit before Hunter. Hunter sat down to be at eye level with Lazuli, and Lazuli licked Hunter's tears, and then he said, Say it with me, kid. I, Hunter, matter." Hunter repeated what Lazuli said, and then his pet continued as thus. "Hunter is someone of words. There is nothing wrong with Hunter. Hunter is perfect the way he is." And so Hunter repeated Lazuli's words till he got over his inferiority complex. Hunter put it on the pair of ear studs, and then he returned to sleep beside Gregory. And it was a crisp autumn morning when Helmer and Ginger awoke to the strange sound coming from the attic. And Ginger tentatively opened his eyes, and he sat up before lying back down on the bed. He was too sleepy to go bother to check. And Ginger, frowning, said, "It better not be Liam again." And Helmer sighed with frustration, and it seemed that if it fell on him to check the creepy noises in the attic. Helmer climbed the stairs ever so silently, and his eyes widened, and then he returned to the bedroom. And Ginger asked, hugging Helmer, "And what was the noise?" "Lazuli and Mincing was crashing at the wall," said Helmer flatly. "Scratching how?" asked Ginger, not getting it. Helmer turned Ginger around, and then he got on top of it and laughing said, "Like this." "Awesome," said Ginger happily. "Everyone's got one except for Marina. And we should look for someone as well." "And you, my cute little Celestina," said Helmer, kissing Ginger's back. And the two rolled around together for a bit until eventually Ginger sat on top of Helmer's instrument, and then he said, "Help me." "You are distracting," said Helmer, trying to enjoy the moment. Ginger increased the rhythm, and then he tried to say, "Help me, and Ginger looked down, and then he saw that Helmer was completely lost in the sensation, and he decided to shelve his questions for later. At the end of the play session, Ginger started kissing and licking Helmer's small instrument, and then Ginger asked Helmer, "Helmer, do you love me?" "Yes, I love you very much," said Helmer, smiling. "My dear Ambrose, my sweet Ginger, my friend, my companion, my confidant, my writing hand, my left eye, my sugar, my strawberry, my primrose. Do I need to say more, my love? It is just we don't talk that much anymore, and when we do, I'm always doing more of the talking, and I do not even know when your birthday is," protested Ginger. "I am sorry, I just prefer the sound of your voice, but if you must know my birthday, then I will tell you." "It is October 7th, said Helmer, opening his arms, and Ginger fell into them to envelop in his lover's embrace. And then Helmer said, "Now it's my turn. You gave all your money yesterday to a woman. Why?" "Because she was needy," said Ginger, kissing, and then he decided to roll around the hay some more. He was not in the mood to talk about the encounter he had with his mother, and the woman wanted Ginger to help salvage his father's reputation and to speak on his behalf against the church who accused him of drunken debauchery and mismanagement of church funds. "Yes, you do like to give alms to the poor," said Helmer, starting to lose his chain of thought. "My little saint." "Little," snapped Ginger. "I am taller than you." And Ginger started to caress Helmer's body, and then Helmer started feeling tingly all over again, and then he said, "That woman, she looked a little bit like..." And Ginger became more insistent in his caresses, and Helmer started sobbing, "Please stop, you're hurting me." And Ginger moved away from Helmer, feeling guilty about his childish behavior. And then he said sadly, "Oh, please don't cry, Helmer, I'm sorry." "It's alright, just give me a moment," said Helmer, trying to regain control of his emotions. And when he was calm, he sat up and said, "That woman was your mother, Ginger." "Yeah," said Ginger, avoiding Helmer's gaze. "I just don't want to be left alone with her, and I don't want to deal with anyone with my past. And why can't you just leave me alone when that man came for me and she did nothing? And now I'm supposed to help him. Fuck her, fuck everyone." Alright, that's the end of that one. Bye-bye and God bless.